We're back. Rob Ellis, Tony Shield, Sports Take on this New Year's Day, 2024. So, Tone, how was the weekend? Did you do any partying last night? What were the festivities to ring in the new year?
Oh man, the time off was definitely needed. Just took time to relax, watch some movies, play some games. Just took it easy, man. The older I get, the more boring I become. And at 29, just turned 29
And you had your
yesterday.
birthday. You had your birthday during.
Yeah. The wife decorated the house for me.
Nice.
Got me an ice cream cake, which I love. I prefer ice cream cake over real cake any day of the week. Um, you know, got some of my favorite snacks and in the crib, and it was a great day, man. I'm not the biggest fan of my birthday personally.
Okay.
But all I really look for on that day is just to, have a peaceful day, not hear any bad news, and just move on to the next year, man.
Yeah.
So everything worked out for the better. Family's good. Got a lot of love from friends and family, for the birthday. So overall, just a good weekend. Took it easy. What about you? How'd you spend the time off?
What do we do? So, we went out, we grabbed some dinner one night, which was fun. We just kind of chilled a little bit. Other than that, just working and just kind of grinding a little bit, but not non-stressful kind of stuff. It was good, man. It was pretty chill. It really was, in a good way. So not a bad way at all. Man, all good.
That's good. That's good.
No complaints.
Are the kids
They're
still
good.
home?
Still home from school. Yeah, man. Still driving me crazy, doing a lot of laundry and all that craziness. But yeah, it's all good.
You love it, man.
I do. I'm going to be bummed out soon when they leave. I know. I like to complain. All right. So a couple things. Let's go offense here. And, they end up basically, I would say 24 of the points belong to the offense. And that maybe I'm being a little bit generous. You could maybe say 21, but certainly 7 of them. We should give Sidney Brown his props before we move on from the defense.
Yeah, man, that was a hell of a return.
Oh my God, what a return. Like, he made 2 moves like in the middle of the field that were like running. I know his brothers are running back for the Bengals, but man, he made 2 moves that you could see like this dude is an athlete, like really instinctive football plays that were just awesome. It was end up being the highlight of the day for sure.
Right. It's funny, for some reason, the moment he got his hands on that ball, you can tell he knew exactly what he wanted to do with it.
Yep.
You could
just duck out of bounds. No, we know that about him, man.
It seemed like he was just waiting for that play. Like he was just waiting for an opportunity to show how athletic he is.
Yeah.
And man, oh man, if that kid can figure it out, stay healthy and continue to make plays. I mean, granted, it was a busted play by the Cardinals, but he took advantage.
Total miscommunication. Yeah.
Yeah, but he took advantage of it and he turned it into some points.
Right.
Even more reason why the Philadelphia Eagles should have won this game. The offense outside of the first drive and the very last drive, I felt like for the most part the offense was, moving the ball pretty well. They were efficient in the red zone. They converted third downs. They didn't have many opportunities. But when they got them, I felt like for the most part they were putting points up.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, Jalen didn't have a ton of passing yards. That's a byproduct of not having the ball a ton. But I thought he was pretty accurate. He had the late interception on the very last play. But this was a game where that's nonsense. So he didn't turn the ball over. You got Goddard involved. Goddard had a nice game, one of his better games of the season. AJ and Devontae didn't have like eye-popping kind of numbers, but they had pretty good numbers. So really, and you got Julio Jones involved with 2 touchdowns. So, and Swift, I thought, ran the ball well. I thought he was good on the ground. So it's really, I mean, if you look at it, your big guns, the guys who you want to get involved and want to see produce, produced pretty well for the most part. Yeah. The issue is situational football. And again, I can't let it go, so I'm going back to it, Tone. So after the onside kick, which the Eagles, and the sequence is, it's hard to believe that the Gannon, I was like, what is he doing here? But so after the Cardinals go down and score and make it 28-28 with 5:26 left, he goes for the onside kick. The Eagles recover it. Okay, Eli Ricks recovered it. So then you taking the ball over at their 39. You got to really, for once, you got a short field. which seems like it never happens with the Eagles defense creating a turnover, but you got it, whatever. So, you end up hitting AJ for, I think he had like an 18-yarder or whatever.
Yeah, converted that for first down. Yeah.
Down to the 20, right? And then all of a sudden Swift gets no gain, but there's a Mailata hold, which this kind of stuff has happened to him all year. Shoot yourself in the foot kind of penalties, right? Remember the encroachment on Sweat, Kelsey's false start, which cost you, like, this stuff has happened all year, right? So you get the Mailata hold. Swift doesn't go anywhere. All of a sudden it's 1st and 20. You're pushed back to the 30 now. Okay. Then here we go. Back-to-back Hurts keepers. First one gets you 4. Second one loses you yards. You're going nowhere is the point. So at that point, it's 3rd and 20 from the 30. You use a timeout to, I guess, because there was total confusion. And let's face it, you needed to run a pretty decent play here.
They got nervous, Rob. Yeah. They got nervous. They were playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
Yes.
You go out there, it's 1st and 20. That's not a death sentence.
Yeah.
You go out there, you run some plays. Maybe you get a 7-yard catch there, an 8-yard catch there. Next thing you know, you're back in business and you're 3rd and manageable.
Right.
But it seems like they completely gave up on the idea or the notion of getting that first down. It seems like to me, they made their mind up well before that they weren't going to try to get that touchdown.
Yeah. And there's
no way the Cardinals should have touched that ball ever again.
Tone, before you kicked that field goal, the Cardinals had scored on their last 3 drives. Okay. They absolutely had, they were just gutting you. They were doing whatever they want. Connor was running all over you. Dortch is catching passes, Trey McBride, whatever. They're doing whatever they wanted to. You can't play a conservative there. I understand there's no guarantee you're picking up a 20-yard first down. I get it's a long shot, but I'm putting the ball in AJ, Devontae, Goddard, Swift's hands ahead of Gainwell. And they just don't run good screens, man. They don't.
And they don't want to get over it.
Right.
They don't want to move on. Yeah. And that tells me that right then and there tells me they have no creativity. They have no ingenuity in the building when it comes to that. It's been shown for 3 straight years under your watchful eye, Nick Sirianni, that you guys cannot execute screenplays. It's clear. It's not even a question anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yet he has not been able to install any real blitz beaters in the game planning, right? When they ran that bubble screen, they asked him about it. He's talking about gaps and they sent everybody. We want to get the ball out of our guys' hand fast and hopefully make a big play. We were being aggressive. How your response to the blitz is a bubble screen every single time.
Yeah.
Teams literally know what's coming now.
Yep.
Like, yet you're still running the same plays. How can you be mad?
It's lazy. It's lazy and
right.
It lacks creativity.
Right. And I said this, when we were talking to Dave Zangaro, and I flat out said it comes off as laziness to me. Yep. And obviously, he covers the team. He doesn't want to put laziness on Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, look, lazy's a big time indictment. It is.
Yeah, right. And I know that's not what he wants to do, right? But that's why we're 2 different people, and I'm not a writer. I can say that.
Well, we have different positions.
Exactly. And much respect to to what he does. I completely understand his position.
Absolutely.
But to me, what's going on within the Philadelphia Eagles organization, it looks like laziness to me on the offensive side. It looks like either laziness or incapability. Pick one, Nick Sirianni. You one of them. You got to be one of them. Mm-hmm. It's either you're incapable or you're too lazy to really do some real work with this talent. Pick one. It's one or the other, Rob. It has to be.
And if this is the answer, it's absurd. But do you not trust your guys enough? Do you not trust A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and Swift, who have shown you all year that they're trustworthy in those big spots? Look, he can say whatever he wants about playing aggressively.
They don't trust themselves. They don't trust themselves.
Yeah, maybe. Or do you not trust your quarterback? But either way, you can spin it any way you want. It's a play that lacks aggression. It's a passive kind of play, flat out. I mean, no other way to put it. So that doesn't go anywhere. They do kick the field goal that puts them up 3, but then the Cardinals march right down the field. and score, and you get it back with a little bit of time left, and you can't do anything, right? And you're also out of timeouts at that point too.
You couldn't even get the play in on
Let me
third
throw
down,
one more,
Rob.
Tone, one more thing to throw in there from just a coaching standpoint. Okay. So the Cardinals on that final drive, this also drove me crazy. So the Cardinals on the final drive have it down. They're all it's first and goal on the 5. Okay. Right. And there's 40 something left. I don't know, whatever it was. Don't you just let him score there?
At that point,
you could have saved yourself, I don't know, 15 seconds, which is a big deal in that situation. So you stuff Connor, and then they were trying to tackle Connor the other time, but he scores. It's just not, you're not thinking ahead, man. Like, he's asleep at the wheel this year. He's not thinking the game well enough.
He's been riding the coattails of his talent. I believe that. No one can convince me otherwise. He's been riding the coattails of his talent over the past couple years, and now he's finally being exposed for it. It's our job is to kind of analyze this thing to the best of our ability, give our opinion, so on and so forth, right? And try to spin it as many ways as possible. Sometimes things don't even deserve to spin. Sometimes things are as clear as they are.
Yeah. Nick
Sirianni's lost his locker room. They have no respect for him or what he's teaching. He has no answers for their issues, and he'll be fired within the next year and a half.
Yeah,
I'm willing to bet on that.
It doesn't look good. I can tell you that, and can you imagine? You and I were sitting here last year at this time, or after the Super Bowl ended, and I said to you, it's even a question of whether or not he's going to be back. Like, you would have thought this team was 5-11 instead of 11-5, right? You would have thought this thing came off the rails, like in an inexplicable way. But they're 11-5, and we're having these conversations, and it's not crazy, and it's not overblown hype and all this other stuff. It's not made up, Skip Bayless fake crap. It's real.
They're 11-5 because of their talent. They're not 11-5 because of him at all.
Despite him,
they're 11-5 in spite of this staff.
Yeah,
So, I look at these guys, and they don't have the answers. We don't have the answers. We're dying a slow death, Philadelphia. And I don't expect too much to change once the playoffs start.
Here's the other issue, Tone. So the organization defensively wants to be a team that doesn't give up big plays, that plays the sticks, keeps everything in front of you. That's what they wanted with Jim Schwartz. That's what they wanted with Jonathan Gannon. That's what they wanted with whoever they brought in. They brought in Desai. So that goes above even Nick, right? So ultimately, are you going to be able to bring somebody new in here, either to run the defense or the offense, or if you blow Nick out, whatever, any of the above, that's going to have their own voice, that's going to be able to do what they want to do, run what they want to run, rather than be happy to have a job and do what the front office and Jeffrey Lurie and Howie want them to do? That's a major part of this too. Doug was a guy who was happy to get a gig, and it worked out great. He won a Super Bowl. Nick was a guy that was happy to get a gig, took you to a Super Bowl last year. I'm not telling you their coaching hires have been bad, but what I'm telling you is taking this job comes with, a price. It's a collaborative vision, and it's not just your vision that you have to have. And that, I hear people I think people are half joking with this, but they're like, bring Bill Belichick here. You think Belichick's going to come here and listen to anybody else but Bill Belichick?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, the answer is no. Okay, so
that is hilarious.
We can stop that right now.
Right.
But
we know they're being tongue in cheek, but the bottom line is this: we can complain about Nick Sirianni all we want, but do we really believe that the changes are going to come, from the right people, from the right places, right?
Right.
You have a quarterback at Jalen Hurts that you're paying north of $50 million a year or two.
Yep.
And he's supposed to be your franchise at least for the next 4 or 5 years. Supposed to be. We're getting dangerously close to the territory of wasting a guy's ability while he has it. Jalen Hurts' game right now is dual threat. He passes well, he runs well. And eventually I expect him to continue to transition into becoming more of the stationary guy and relying less on the athleticism as that begins to fail, right? Because that's just what
It's the
naturally
way
happens.
most quarterbacks go. Yeah.
Right. That's just how it goes. You can't waste time with Nick Sirianni's ineptness. You can't waste the opportunities that you have in front of you because Nick Sirianni can't do his job properly. The NFC is for the taking and will be until further notice. I mean, but these teams are getting better, right? The Rams are on a fast track to getting better. The Lions look like they're going to be here to stay for a while.
Yeah, I agree.
The Cowboys,
49ers
the Niners
aren't old. Niners are. I mean, Trent
Niners,
Williams, but they're not a very old roster.
Right. They're not the oldest. So if you ask me, right, the window was slowly closing for you to take advantage of an NFC that's pretty top heavy. Because I think the Rams are going to be way better next year.
Oh, I do too. I think
especially they have a good draft.
McVay figured a lot out this past year, like with Nakua and some other guys. Like he figured a lot out after the way it went the year before. And they need Kupp to stay healthy, which is a big if. But and they have a running back. Kyron Williams can run the ball. They have, and he got hurt, I know, but they have some good players anyway. But you're right, and what it also does is, and this is so hard to just wrap your head around, man. But this is why you should have won it last year, because weird stuff happens the following year. We see it in every sport. There's no rhyme or reason sometimes, but you just don't have that same edge that you had the year before when you were in pursuit of that one.
When you come back close too.
Yeah, you don't come back the same way, man. You don't. It takes something out of you or something. I don't know whether it's a mental thing or a physical thing or whatever. To get that close and come up small,
it's difficult to overcome. Yeah. We knew they were facing an uphill. See, here's the thing: we knew in the off season that they were facing an uphill battle. We accepted that, but we believed more so in this team and their makeup rather than believing in trends or history, right? We thought that this team was built the right way to defy the odds or to defy history. Yeah. And every single week, every single game, it's been an uphill battle. It's been a struggle. Yep. And we've seen little by little how much of a toll trying to achieve what they're trying to achieve can take on the team. And it makes matters even worse when you realize you don't even have the staff or the personnel to really get where you got to go. You've kind of fooled yourself all seasons into thinking that you were legitimate contenders, when in reality they've been on borrowed time. They've been on borrowed time, and now eventually everybody got paid a tab.
Well, I think one of the reasons, obviously, it was wishful thinking as well, but I think one of the reasons why we thought they could buck the trend was because they had such a great culture, because they had such great leadership. Because if you thought about it, with the older guys like Lane and Kelsey and Fletcher and BG, and then the quarterback who's an old soul, who's a leader, and Nick in the front office, like you just felt like they were sort of immune to some of this stuff. You know what we're seeing? I don't know who it is exactly, man, but there are cracks. There are cracks in the foundation here. And there are guys that aren't happy. I mean, your star receiver isn't talking to the media because he doesn't want to rip the team and rip his coach. Yeah. That's a bad sign.
Hurts says something pretty interesting in his press conference. In so many words, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it right in front of me, but he basically was saying, my role is just to go out there and execute, what's being called. And, I focus on what I can control. My job is to control execution. Other than that, I try to, just play my role and do what I'm supposed to do. And for me, I took that as a guy that's not speaking up enough in these meetings with these coaches about what they're drawing up. Now, I could be wrong. I'm willing to put that on Front Street that I could be wrong. Maybe Jalen Hurts is saying a lot in these meetings with the coaches or whatever. But the result has not changed in terms of the product they're giving, in terms of the game planning or the play calling, however you want to slice it. So how much is he really saying or sharing in these meetings? Yeah. A guy who believes in structure, a guy who believes in keeping the main thing, doing his job, a guy who's very singular, like Jalen Hurts, who doesn't like to rock the boat, a guy who's very buttoned up and professional. I'm more likely to believe that he's in there not trying to rock the boat rather than
I agree.
rock it.
Shake it up. Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think what we're also seeing is Steichen may have been so phenomenal at his job that even though maybe what he was being presented with during the week, that scheme from Sirianni was just vanilla or not great.
You know how you had people in the building that's kind of like there
he could
to like
coach
save it from
circles
yourself?
around it. Yeah, he could coach circles around it and make it sing, even though it wasn't that great.
Right. How often do you think, Nick Sirianni has something on the whiteboard and Shane was like,
Yeah.
how
How about we try this?
hey Nick, I like where you're going, but how about we move this here?
Yep.
And we try this, and all of a sudden, look what we have. We have a shelf.
Yeah. And
so,
or
I mean?
He's putting together a game plan, and in Steichen's head, there's already 14 plays that are thrown out. I'm not even getting near that during game day, but I know X, Y, and Z will work, and I'm going to roll that way. The proof's in the pudding. Steichen's done an amazing job with not a lot. So I don't think there's
he lost his starting quarterback, and he's someone has Gardner Minshew and the Colts fighting against the playoffs.
Yeah, with with a really average weapon-wise offense.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
it's not special really. So I think there's that. And Tone, for everybody who hated Gannon, whatever you think about him, he was better than what they have now. He was better than the Patricia Desai combo platter that we've gotten. He was. So you took a hit on both ends, and you didn't upgrade or even stay afloat with either position that you brought in.
Right.
And again, this is not me killing Brian Johnson, because I think Brian Johnson may be handcuffed in some ways. I'm also not letting him off the hook, but
that's the part about this, and that's the part about this situation that makes it so much more frustrating. You have a hard time really pointing the finger at, like, damn, is Brian Johnson really the issue? Is Nick really the issue? Was Sean Desai really the issue, or is this a front office issue? And it has to be. They have a certain way that they want to go about things,
right?
And it's having an impact on the field and how they're producing. In my opinion, you wear a suit and tie every day, and you crunch numbers and sign checks. I don't need your opinion in any football related decisions in terms of what we're doing on the field. If you want to control the roster, all right, fine. But as far as what we're doing on the field and who's activated and who's not, I don't believe any GM should have any control over who plays on any given day. Coaches should have full control over who's playing on any given day, because they're going to need they know what they need to succeed. So, as much hell as I give Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman got to wear this too. They all got to wear it. Hurts. Everybody has to wear it in some capacity.
Yeah. Right. When we're talking about, we're giving you certain names here, it doesn't mean the others are off the hook. It doesn't mean the others have done their job. They have. Look, Jalen's turned the ball over a ton.
It's been a turnover machine all year.
Yeah, drop passes, by guys that were uncharacteristic drops. Jalen, AJ, and Devontae all fumbled against the Cowboys. That's not on a coach. That's on you guys. You got to take care of the ball. So you don't get to this point where it's crumbled like this if it's just one thing. I don't think, at least. I think
exactly. You don't get to this point if it's just one thing or one person.
Yeah.
But if I had to give a lion's share of the blame, if I had to, I would have to give it to Nick Sirianni. Like if you had to give the lion's share to anybody, who would you give it to?
It's Sirianni, because first of all, he's scheming up the offense, but he stepped away from play calling so he could be a guy who is a CEO who's in charge of everything, who oversees everything. It's not like he doesn't know what's going on defensively or wouldn't have suggestions to change the input of it. But I think more than anything else we all bought into, maybe he wasn't the greatest X and O'er. Okay, that's fine. Not everybody is, but he's a connector. Is he a connector? Are we sure about that now?
It's easy to connect when you're winning.
Yeah. Like, if that's not there, what are you exactly? Who are you? What's your identity if these guys aren't willing to go to the mat for you? Because I didn't see a lot of mat guys yesterday.
Exactly. What do you bring to the table that forces guys to go out on a limb for you? Like, if you listen to his press conferences, none of them are really saying, "Hey, listen, we still believe in Nick. We trust me." None of them are really going out on a limb for him. Right. If you really see, sometimes we focus so much on what they're saying, we need to focus on what they're not saying. And if you notice, in most of these press conferences, they have not said, they have not said that they believe in what they're doing. They've not said they had full trust in this game plan. They have not said that, hey, listen, we got Nick back. We know he's been getting a lot of flack, but it's on us to do our job. They've kind of been speaking independent of Nick. I'm telling you, he's lost his locker room and he's not going to get it back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question. Like, can you lose it and get it back? Like, what are the examples of that? You know what I mean? It's like when that toothpaste is out of that tube, man. Good luck. Good luck.
Because you're not exactly because you're not going to change. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to all of a sudden get smarter. You're not going to all of a sudden start understanding football better. You are who you are at this point. And can he right the ship in this short amount of time? I doubt it.
Yeah, no doubt. It is it's an interesting quandary. All right, let's come back and we'll kind of lay out some scenarios here. We'll look at both conferences, the AFC and the NFC, how this sets up for the Eagles here. What's the highest they could achieve here in terms of seeding and that kind of stuff. So we'll get into all of those scenarios when we come back. Don't go anywhere. That's Tony Shields. I am Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take. All right, let's talk about Pro Action Restoration. Yeah, the guys, one of the reasons why you've been seeing me at different locales other than the studio is because I had a leak in my basement. And the guys have done an amazing job. Maybe tomorrow I'll do a little tour. I'll show you what they've done. But great paint job, great job with the drywall for the ceilings and all those kind of things. And we're almost there, not quite yet. Just got to put some carpet down. And then I'll get my studio back. But they've done an awesome job. So Pro Action Restoration is the place that you want to reach out to if you have any issues with water, fire, smoke, mold damage, you name it, they can handle it. They're on call 24 hours, 7 days a week to assist. They are licensed, bonded, and fully insured, and they've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company. So again, if it's water, fire, smoke damage, mold remediation, you name it, they can handle it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or online at proactionrestoration.com. That's Pro Action Restoration.